Welcome back, everybody. Today we're diving into something a little different.
Mm.
A deep dive into humor. We're going to
Okay.
be looking at Laugh Out Loud, the ultimate collection of jokes for all ages
Oh, interesting.
by Kim Mitchell.
A
Um,
whole book of jokes, huh?
yeah, it's a pretty extensive collection.
I mean, makes you wonder, can you really break down what makes something funny?
Yeah, that's a great question, right?
Right.
Like humor's so subjective,
Right.
but this book it kind of tries to categorize it.
Mm.
It's got, classic one-liners,
Okay.
dad jokes, knock-knock jokes,
Mm.
even jokes specifically for kids.
Oh, wow. So it really runs the gamut.
Yeah, it does.
Well, I mean, that range is actually a pretty good place to start, I think.
Okay.
And you think about it, right? A joke that makes a 5-year-old giggle might make an adult, just completely roll their eyes. Why is that? What changes as we get older?
I guess our sense of humor matures.
Huh?
Like little kids love silly sounds and slapstick. But then as we grow up, we start to appreciate more complex humor,
Exactly.
like wordplay or satire or.
Yeah. So even within this one book,
Right.
we're seeing how humor is tied to our development, to our understanding of the world.
Mhm.
It's not just random silliness, right? There's actually a structure to it.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Let's unpack some of these categories.
All right.
I flipped through the classic one-liners section earlier, and some of them are real zingers.
One-liners are fascinating.
Oh.
They really have to deliver a punch in just a few words. Like, take this one from the book.
Okay.
I'm on a whiskey diet. I've lost 3 days already.
Oh, I love that one. That's great.
Yeah.
It's so simple, but it works on like multiple levels.
Right. There's the obvious play on lost, right?
Yeah.
Time, lost weight.
Mm,
But it also plays on our expectations.
yeah.
We expect a diet joke to be about, healthy eating.
Right.
But this one takes a dark, almost absurd turn. And
Oh.
that surprise is key to why it's funny.
So it's not just the wordplay, it's the unexpected twist.
Exactly.
Okay, what about those groan-worthy dad jokes?
Oh, yeah.
Are they even trying to be funny?
Ah, dad jokes.
Yeah.
Much maligned, yet oddly endearing.
Yeah.
They often rely on puns that are just so bad they're good,
Right.
or on a kind of childlike silliness.
Hmm.
Like this one, what do you call cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese.
Okay, I gotta admit I chuckled at that one.
Right.
But why? It's not close. It's barely even a pun.
I think it taps into something primal,
Okay.
that kind of simple, familiar humor.
Hmm.
It's comforting, almost nostalgic. It's the kind of joke a parent might tell a kid, so it evokes a sense of warmth and connection, even if it's cheesy.
Huh. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
So it's less about the joke itself and more about the feeling it creates.
Exactly, and that's important to remember, right?
Hmm.
Humor isn't always about intellectual wit.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about creating a shared moment of silliness, even if it's at the expense of good taste.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something a little more interactive.
Right.
Knock-knock jokes.
Okay.
The book has a ton of these.
Sure.
I'm curious why they're so popular, especially with kids.
Well, knock-knock jokes are interesting because they rely on a very specific structure,
Oh,
a call and response pattern.
Yeah.
It's almost like a mini play,
Mm.
with each participant having a set role.
So it's less about the joke itself and more about the ritual of telling it.
I think that's a big part of it.
Okay.
Especially for kids, there's a comfort in knowing what comes next
Right.
and having that predictable back and forth.
Yeah.
It gives them a sense of control and participation in the joke-telling process.
And the jokes themselves are usually pretty silly and straightforward,
Yeah,
which makes them easy for kids to understand.
right. The humor often comes from puns or wordplay,
Yeah.
but it's usually very accessible even for young children,
Well-
like this one from the book.
Okay.
Knock, knock.
Let's see.
Let us in. Let us in. It's cold out here.
Oh, even I can't resist a good knock-knock joke.
There you go.
All right, let's move on to a category that's near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
Jokes for kids.
All right.
What makes these different from, say, the dad jokes or the one-liners?
Well, jokes for kids tend to be very visual and imaginative.
Mm-hmm.
They often feature animals, silly situations, or plays on words that are easy for young minds to grasp.
Okay, so like this one. What do
Yeah.
you call a sleeping bull? A bulldozer.
Perfect example.
Right.
It connects a familiar object, a bulldozer,
Uh-huh.
with an animal, creating a funny and memorable image for a child.
Yeah.
Plus, it uses a simple pun that's easy to understand.
It's amazing how much thought goes into crafting a joke that's both funny and appropriate for a specific age group.
It
It's
is.
like a whole different comedic language.
Absolutely. And we haven't even touched on puns and wordplay,
Oh, right.
which are a whole other level of humor that require a certain level of wit and linguistic dexterity.
Yeah.
But we can explore those in more depth later on.
Okay, I'm ready for more.
Great.
You're making me realize there's so much more to humor than just getting a laugh.
Yeah.
It's like a whole world of language psychology and social dynamics.
Exactly. And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. We're
Yeah.
not just reading jokes, we're exploring what makes them tick,
Right.
what they reveal about us,
Mhm.
and how they connect us to each other.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this.
Me too. This is fun.
All right, let's
Let's keep going.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, it really is.
And that's what makes humor such a rich area to explore.
Mm.
It's not just about the jokes themselves,
Right.
but about what they tell us about ourselves
Yeah.
and the world around us.
So it's like you're saying humor is like a window into the human experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about it. What we find funny is often shaped by our culture,
Uh-huh.
our upbringing, our values.
So you're saying like a joke that's hilarious in one culture
Right.
might fall flat in another.
Humor is very context dependent.
Yeah.
A joke that relies on wordplay
Right.
might not translate well into another language,
Wow.
or a joke that makes fun of a certain social custom
Right.
might be offensive in a different cultural context.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how some jokes are only funny if you get the reference or the
Right.
shared experience.
Exactly. There's often a layer of insider knowledge or social commentary embedded in humor.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
We've talked about different types of jokes.
Yeah.
But what about the actual mechanics of humor?
Right.
What makes something objectively funny?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no single formula for humor,
Okay.
but there are some common elements that tend to work.
Like what?
Well, one key element is surprise. Humor often arises when we encounter something unexpected,
Okay.
something that violates our expectations or disrupts our normal patterns of thinking.
Like that whiskey diet joke?
Yeah.
We expect a diet joke to be about deprivation.
Right.
But this one is about overindulgence,
Exactly.
which catches us off guard.
That element of surprise is what makes us laugh.
Okay.
It's like our brains are trying to catch up with the unexpected twist,
Mm.
and the resulting cognitive dissonance is what we experience as humor.
So you're saying our brains love a good puzzle,
Yeah.
even when it comes to jokes?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
Humor often plays with our expectations and makes us reevaluate our assumptions,
Mm.
which can be mentally stimulating
Right.
and even a bit exhilarating.
Like a mental workout.
Yes.
Disguised as entertainment.
Precisely.
Okay.
And another important element of humor is incongruity.
Okay.
This is the idea of presenting something that is out of place
Mm-hmm.
or doesn't fit with our normal understanding of the world.
Like those silly animal jokes,
Yeah.
where animals do things that are completely human,
Right.
like talking or wearing clothes.
Exactly. That clash between our expectations and the absurd reality presented in the joke
Right.
is what makes us laugh.
It's like our brains are saying, wait a minute, that's not how things are supposed to be.
Exactly.
And that sense of absurdity can be incredibly liberating,
it can.
especially when we're feeling stressed
Right.
or overwhelmed by the seriousness of life.
Absolutely. Humor gives us permission to let go of logic and reason for a moment and just embrace the silliness of it all.
It's like a pressure valve
Yes.
for our minds,
Right.
a way to release tension and find joy in the unexpected.
And that brings us to another important aspect of humor.
Okay.
Its social function.
Mm.
Humor is often used to build connections,
Yeah.
strengthen relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and create a sense of belonging.
Like when you share a joke with someone
Right.
and you both start laughing,
Exactly.
it's like this instant bond.
Shared laughter creates a sense of intimacy and camaraderie, reinforcing social bonds and creating a shared experience of joy.
It's like a secret language that only those in on the joke understand.
And that feeling of being in on the joke can be incredibly powerful,
Yeah.
especially in social groups or communities.
It's like a way of signaling that you're part of the group,
Exactly.
that you understand the shared culture and values.
Humor can be a very effective way of creating social cohesion and reinforcing group identity.
And that's why humor is so important in families, too.
It is.
It creates those shared moments of silliness and laughter that bond families together.
Absolutely. Think about those classic family traditions.
Yeah.
Like telling silly jokes at the dinner table or
Right.
watching funny movies together.
Those are the moments that create lasting memories
They are.
and strengthen family bonds.
And that's why this book, Laugh Out Loud, is such a great resource for families.
It is.
It provides a whole collection of jokes that can be shared and enjoyed together,
Yeah.
regardless of age or humor preferences.
It's like a treasure trove of family fun,
It is.
just waiting to be discovered.
And it's not just for families either.
Right.
This book can be a great icebreaker in social settings,
Right.
a way to lighten the mood at work,
Yeah.
or simply a source of personal enjoyment when you need a good laugh.
I'm starting to realize that humor is more than just entertainment.
It is.
It's a fundamental part of the human experience,
Yeah.
shaping our relationships, our culture,
Right.
even our own sense of self.
And that's why we're taking this deep dive into humor.
Yeah.
It's not just about reading jokes.
Sure.
It's about exploring what makes them work, what they reveal about us, and how they connect us to each other.
It's like we're peeling back the layers of a complex and fascinating subject,
It is.
discovering new insights and perspectives along the way.
And that's what makes this exploration so rewarding. We're not just laughing at jokes, we're learning about ourselves and the world around us
Yeah.
through the lens of humor.
So we're back for our final look at humor with Laugh Out Loud.
Yeah, this has been really interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm realizing now that laughter is a lot more powerful than I think I initially gave it credit for.
It really is.
Yeah.
We've explored how humor connects us,
Right.
how it reflects our development, even how it acts as a sort of mental exercise.
Right.
But there's one more aspect I find particularly fascinating.
Okay.
Humor's potential for personal growth.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How does a good chuckle help us become better people?
Well, think about what happens when you genuinely find something funny.
Okay.
You might be surprised your perspective shifts a bit. You see things in a new light.
That's true. Yeah. A good joke can kind of make you rethink your assumptions or even laugh at yourself a little.
Exactly. And that self-awareness,
Yeah.
that ability to step outside yourself and see things from a different angle, that's crucial for personal growth.
So you're saying that by learning to appreciate different types of humor, by understanding what makes us laugh,
Yeah.
we're actually developing a more flexible and open-minded way of thinking.
Precisely. And that flexibility can translate into other areas of life. It can make us more adaptable to change, better at handling conflict, even more creative in our problem solving.
Wow, that's pretty profound.
It is.
So Laugh Out Loud, it's not just a collection of jokes.
Right.
It's like a guide to unlocking our inner comedic potential.
I like that.
Yep.
And by exploring different types of humor,
Uh-huh.
from puns to slapstick to satire,
Right.
we can discover what resonates with us.
Yeah.
What tickles our unique funny bone.
And in doing so, we learn more about ourselves,
Exactly.
about what we value, what we find absurd, what makes us tick.
Right. It's like humor is a reflection of our inner world.
It is.
Yeah, and by paying attention to those reflections, by really diving deep into our own sense of humor,
Okay.
we can gain valuable insights into our own strengths,
Yeah.
weaknesses, even our biases.
That's so true. Sometimes a joke can reveal something about ourselves
Right.
that we might not have even consciously realized.
Exactly. It's like humor is a mirror held up to our soul,
Yeah.
and that self-reflection can be incredibly powerful. It can help us to challenge our own assumptions,
Yeah.
confront our own prejudices, and ultimately become more understanding and compassionate individuals.
So it's like humor is a secret weapon
Yes,
for personal growth,
it is.
a way to disarm our defenses and open ourselves up to new possibilities.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And the best part is it's a fun and engaging process.
Right.
Who wouldn't want to learn and grow through laughter?
Exactly.
It certainly beats sitting in a stuffy lecture hall.
Yeah, so what's the takeaway here? What should our listeners do with all this newfound knowledge about the power of humor?
I think the most important takeaway is to embrace laughter in all its forms.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself,
Yeah.
to appreciate a good pun,
Uh-huh.
to find joy in the absurd,
Right.
and most importantly, share that laughter with others.
Because laughter is a gift,
It is.
a way to connect,
Yeah.
a way to heal, a way to grow.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a way to cultivate that laughter,
Okay.
to explore the vast and wonderful world of humor,
Yeah.
I highly recommend checking out Laugh Out Loud by Kay Mitchell.
Great book.
You can find a link to the book on Amazon in the episode description.
Perfect.
It's a treasure trove of jokes,
It is.
sure to tickle your funny bone and maybe even spark some personal growth along the way.
And for those who want to support our team with a donation,
Yes.
you can find the link for that in the description as well.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into humor. Until next time, Keep laughing.